Hey, what's up guys, Sir Eminon here, bringing to you a live duel commentary of a full match against a friend of mine that I played a couple of days ago here. So this is my friend Evan. He's preparing for the UDS this weekend, which may already be going on by the time this video is uploaded, but so yeah, it's the one in Vegas. He's playing Sky Striker here today. The blind second list, obviously he's just mainly a crap ton of hand traps and just trying to break boards and then set up for the long game. But yeah, this is a good opportunity for me to try and showcase what the updated Lunalight build does against the meta decks. It is the current version that I uploaded a deck list of. I will link that in the description as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started here. This is a pretty good one. So we start off, he wins a die roll, but obviously that's entirely inconsequential because he's blinding second if given the option and I am blinding first. So we are assuming obviously we don't have knowledge of what our other strategies are for the purposes of testing. So I start off by normal summoning the Dark Grepher, and I am going to use its effect, pitching an Emerald Bird here, but that gets met by the Effect Veiler. So in hindsight, that play was a misplay because I should have, considered hand traps. I mean, I obviously consider hand traps in the play string, but I usually try and account for like one, but though you'll see he has more than one. But I do have the Destrudo on my hand, so it was possible for me to just pitch the Destrudo to special summon the Grepher instead, because I had a Armageddonite in my hand to normal summon afterward. So it would have caused him to use his hand traps in a slightly different way so that I could get further with my plays, rather than what I actually did. But here I just dropped the Destrudo. I'm thinking, okay, that's my 3 darks, I can make Rusty Bardache. Evan's like, that's fine, that resolves, but on resolution, go ahead and use that Ghost Reaper to get rid of the Bardache. So yeah, that's obviously a hedge for him against Danger Orcus and stuff like this deck. So yeah, that's a big problem, but I can obviously recover because I have type diversity, which is why Curious is super good. But are you kidding me? What the heck? You have everything.
I know, it's absurd. Yeah. I actually do have everything.
So yeah, it's a bit of a rough one. I end up having to pass my turn. He starts off pretty strong with the terraforming here, and you're gonna see that he just like opens really well and gets very lucky here too. But yeah, had I done the play with pitching the Destrudo for the Grepher to normal my Armageddonite, it would have been fine, although it would have made my Curious play a bit more awkward. So it probably would have resolved, but I would have had to structure my play to where I couldn't really send like Serenade Dance because the Armageddonite was the last card in my hand. But you see that he rips the engage off the area 0, must be nice. Goes ahead and uses multi-roll to get the area 0 into the graveyard, so we can get Ray out obviously. And I'm kind of sitting here like, well, he's probably going to break the board and I'm gonna have to like draw something really nice for the next turn, because my Armageddonite is realistically not going to be resolving when he has access to engage. So he attacks directly with Hayate, sends the Widow Anchor, and then in main phase 2 goes for the engage play. Obviously. Here he searches the Afterburner to try and clear the board, which does give me some recovery as both the Curious and Tiger float, but it's also bad because I can't really add anything off Curious that gets me a lot of value, and the Tiger dying means that I don't have as much recovery for next turn anyway. So like if I were to hard draw, say a Collider Chick or something, it would be very difficult for me to like actually do anything with it. So he goes into Kagari, adds back the engage, goes ahead and pops the engage on the board, and goes for the Eagle Booster. When's that? I'm going home.
Time I drew engage off engage. This is crazy.
What?
This is crazy.
This kid is the luckiest piece of garbage I've ever
this
seen.
is actually
only
absurd.
right now.
Holy crap. Yeah, I hope so.
No,
I hope when you go to the UDS you just like play it, you just like draw nothing.
How can you say something?
Alright, obviously I'm joking there guys. I would never actually wish that upon him. But yeah, he gets the engage off the engage draw. So he's pretty much living the dream. We know he has access to not only clear our board, but just disrupt our next turn and then pretty much win the grind game outright, obviously. So pops the Curious with Afterburner, pops the Tiger with the secondary effect. I'm going to add back the Grepher and special the Emerald Bird to try and get something back, but realistically that's not going to do very much. So he's going to go ahead and end phase Shizuku. I believe he goes for Shark Cannon. Yep, he activates that in the end phase as well to get rid of my Curious and then set it alongside the Widow Anchor off the multi-roll. So I know for sure that I cannot play through this. There is absolutely no way I can go with my 2 normal summons in my hand as well as no recovery options. So yeah, this game, though I could have played it a little bit differently on my first turn, probably wouldn't have been able to play through the 3 hand traps. I maybe would have ended on something better than just Curious Pass, but yeah, this was pretty insurmountable. So yeah.
I think we're just backing up. Skill! No. That was absurd. That was just stupid cards.
Alright, so game 2 here. That game 1 wasn't very good, but my siding pattern is against Striker. I actually go second if given the option. So the reasoning is that actually Azathoth is pretty bad against Striker, especially if they like main deck things like Mind Control, which some players do. I think the going second build is much more likely to do so, and I do believe that is the superior build of Striker at the moment. But yeah, they really, even if you like shut off a Kagari add back for 1 turn, it isn't really enough to hinder them, because if they stick a Ray on the board, they can just leave it there. If you force the Azathoth play, like with Widow Steel or Mind Control or something. But yeah, he opens Engage again, so he's off to the races. But essentially, like, they could just leave the Ray on board and then tag out during your turn. And with the new Kaina, it actually makes it really hard to close games, because Kaina can just force a guy to like not attack, and if they're able to clear your board with their Striker cards, and he rips another Engage off the Area Sealer right away. Must be nice. But yeah, if they're able to just clear your board without relying on monsters, which Striker is very, very capable of doing, there's really no incentive for them to like try and bother too much with the with Azathoth. It just doesn't do too much. Like, it only lowers their ceiling as opposed to just not letting them play, which for combo decks might be the case, but not for a deck like this. So he goes and multi-rolls away as Kagari. I'm sure you kind of just know what's happening here. He's getting the 3rd spell in Graveyard, so he can resolve Engage with the draw. Kind of like, not really throwing away the card, but just like cycling for a new one. So yeah, we've been theory testing a bit, or theory crafting a bit, and I've been telling him Shark Cannon is super good in this matchup because you just hit the Martin and they kind of die. Same with like Zephyros and stuff. And Eagle Booster is also like the 2nd best card in my opinion, just because like even if they have Leo Dancer, Borosword, or like whatever OTK potential they have, it's actually hard when Shizuku can't be destroyed by battle, and it's unaffected by card effects, and it's lowering all your guys' attack by however many hundred. So he goes Samurai Phase Eagle Booster to play around Kaijus. I play around like Denko and stuff. So yeah, I start off with Foolish Burial. My hand's actually pretty good, even though I know he has Shark Cannon and Widow Anchor. I know both of those are there. So here I'm just kind of like playing with that in mind. My hand does contain Twin Twisters and Zephyros. So like I'm hesitant to Shotgun Twin. I don't think that's like ever really the right play, unless if you know what's set where, and you know like what to hit. Because then you're just like susceptible to losing stuff, like just losing too many resources out of nowhere, and especially if you're like you don't know what you're hitting, like it's not really worthwhile. So yeah, Foolish for Martin, which searches the Serenade Dance, and then Goods gets the Perfume Engrave. So now I have a lot of like things to work with. I know that once I searched the Serenade Dance, he didn't have Droll, so that was a check off the list. He decides not to use a hand trap here, so I'm thinking it's less and less likely he has Ash. There were plenty of chances for him to Ash, and I think Perfume was like the most potent one, because like the idea is like typically, especially when they go second, like stopping the Bardache is less important, because if you're going against the like any deck that makes Rusty Bardache going first for the Azathoth combo, it's typically good to save your hand trap there, like Ash or Impermanence. But in a going like second scenario, which is what I'm currently in, I'm anticipating that he might use his hand traps a little bit earlier to try and stop the play, because like Rusty Bardache isn't really going to be like the best as like the opener here. It's only good like after I successfully try and break the board. So I go for the Emerald Bird to try and cycle through. If I hit a Kaiju, that's like ideal, but yeah, it doesn't end up happening obviously. And here I'm just thinking, since he is Eagle boosted and Shizuku can't be destroyed by battle here, there's no reason for me to try and end the game, because it literally is not possible for me to do that. So I'm just trying to play through his negates, kill the multi-roll, and then hopefully be set up for next turn. So I go ahead and watch this interaction.
Oh shit! That's wild, so I can't do it.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, so if you saw what happened earlier, I searched the Collider check off of the perfume, and instead of normal summoning it, I actually get it to grave and then revive it back off the Tiger, because what Tiger does is it brings back the monster with its effects negated. And Widow Anchor can't target a monster that's already negated, because you can't attempt to activate a card that won't resolve and change the game state. So because of this, he's forced to target a different card, so it makes him use his Shark Cannon preemptively. He probably should have hit the Zephyrs instead, but I guess he just forgot that I didn't use Collider Check yet, so I was just able to get a second one anyway and keep playing. But yeah, that's a cool thing to keep in mind, is that even though I haven't like normal summoned, and it might seem like a waste to like not use your normal summon this far into the play, you guys have to keep in mind, like against Widow Anchor, you want to make sure that all your cards that are important aren't going to be taken away from you, and Collider Check is like one of those most important resources. So I made every effort I could to get it on the board off of Tiger as opposed to just normal summoning it. So I go for the Dermidol here once I use the Martin, I believe, and then have the hard drawn Tiger in hand too. So go ahead, bring back Collider Check, and then I go to battle phase. So the idea here was, now that I know that I pretty much don't have to worry about striker spells since he took the Emerald Bird on his board, I can just go ahead and use my normal summon after I bring something back and then keep playing. Now I make a bit of a mistake, and you'll see that I actually talk about it later on in the video, but I forget to use Darumidol here to pop the last back row. That would have been a little bit awkward, since like here I didn't use Tiger's effect yet in the scale, but if I did, that would leave me with no Lunalights to bring back when it gets popped, so regardless it wouldn't have mattered. But I attempt to use Rusty Bardache and it gets met with the Impermanence. So yeah, at this point I'm like, well shoot, that kind of hurts, because my idea was to try and get a Shade Brigandine to try and like keep going, and then if I had a Tiger, that would have been another rank 4 play. So yeah, it was not necessarily the best outcome, but I did actually still have a hard drawn Tenki this entire time. Was just trying to play around Joel for as long as possible. Obviously he would have dropped it instantly, but I just kind of wanted to see how he would respond with his Shark Cannon and his Widow Anchor first. So now here, my #1 priority is to get rid of multi-roll. If that resolves, then I'm just going to lose this game. And I know he doesn't have anything, because he probably would have failured a long time ago had he had it. So yeah, just go ahead and kill the multi-roll and set a Call by the Grave, and my card in hand is Twin Twister. So I don't really set it because there's not really much of a point when I can't activate it, and I think Call by the Grave here is better because I need to stop the Kagari cycling of Engage. And if I can stop the Kagari, then I can probably just win at the next turn. So he's counting the spells in his grave, which is important. He has 7 spells here, which means Kagari is 22. And if he actually lets his Kagari resolve, if I let it resolve, then he'll have 6 spells in grave, which means Kagari will be 21. So it can crash into the Bardache, Ray will come back out, it can tag out in the battle phase and kill another monster, so it just gets like extreme value in the battle phase because crashing is just super good. But not only did I stop the Engage from coming back, I stopped him from doing the crash play. So when he goes to attack my Tornado Dragon with the Kagari here, I chain it to target my own Tiger, which forces him to kind of think about like what resources I have, and then what I can try and get back. Because basically what I'm trying to do here is ensure that next turn I have enough resources to just kill him. Because I know that he really doesn't have much of a way back in unless if he has like, I don't know, if he like draws into like hand traps with engage and resolves engage for like another anchor. But here he just uses the Widow to take the Tornado Dragon outright, which causes a replay obviously, so it kills both my monsters. Which might seem bad that like my board gets cleared, but I know that he really just doesn't have too much. I know that he has an Afterburner that he searched, and I know that he has, or rather I know the other card in his hand isn't a threat, and I know that he has the Area 0 here. So it really just comes down to, can I OTK him next turn? He searches Afterburner in the end phase, I think, here. Yeah, the set is the only thing I really have to play through. Right, I was thinking a bit ahead here. But yeah, he goes for Shizuku and then end phase searches Afterburner, since he pretty much ran through all of his other names. Shark Cannon's in there, there's a, obviously Widow Anchor, Engage, Multi-Roll. So I know his hand is Afterburner and Area 0. I kind of forget that though, as you'll see later on. But all I have to play through is one set back row, and I'm pretty much set to win this game here. So yeah, I go ahead, draw for turn. I have double Tiger, which is just absolutely ridiculous. So Tiger number 1 brings back the Collider Chick. I think about like, does he play double Shark Cannon? Probably not. I don't think I have to play around that too much. And like, even if he did, if that's like the only interaction that he has, then I'm probably still good to go. So after using both of my Tigers, I go ahead and Twin Twister, pitching the Armageddon Knight that I had drawn. Armageddon Knight here doesn't really get me anything of value. I already have Zephyrs engraved. The only thing I can dump is realistically Destrudo, but I don't need that to win. So it turns out that his set is Impermanence. Obviously doesn't matter here, and I'm just trying to think about how I can most efficiently close this game. I bring back the Yellow Martin with the Tiger here, and I kind of just overthink a bit, just kind of watch what happens here.
Yeah, it really just depends on like what your hand trap is. I'm just praying right now it's like a mind control or something. Oh, it's the Area 0. I'm stupid. Alright, well, I'm dumb.
So yeah, I totally brain farted there. Whoops. But it's okay. Moving on here, I end up going ahead and overlaying my 2 monsters for the Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King, and go ahead and set a tanky. I dumped a wolf earlier this turn because now I don't have to fear Shark Cannon. In this matchup, like, you kind of want to just hold your Collider Chick uses. You don't want to dump everything. Like, in other matchups, it's fine if you like just send everything as soon as possible, just so you like don't draw into things you don't, you know, want to top deck in like weird situations, or, you know, just to like be able to thin out your deck and stuff. But against Striker, like, Shark Cannon is kind of a big deal, so you have to always respect it. Go ahead, Martin, bounce back the Tiger, then use the Emerald Bird with the Tiger King to go ahead and make the Underclock Taker. And then I go ahead and rescale the Tiger, bring back the Collider Chick because I still have yet to send a Panther Dancer, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and do right now. And I think at this point the game's pretty much sealed up because I have Underclock plus Leader Dancer access, since I have a Black Sheep that was searched off the Tanky that was set with the Tiger King. So yeah, this is like pretty standard follow-up. Because Tiger King is so easy to access, you can always just search Black Sheep to get the wolf whenever you need it, or anything in realistically speaking. But yeah, just go ahead. That's a little overkill to make Phoenix there, but I just wanted Collider Chick engraved before banishing it. For, you know, not really a good reason, I just did it anyway. This obviously prompts Collider Chick to lock at the battle phase, stops Ray, and then just go ahead and use Underclock to target my Leo Dancer and the Shizuku. And that's pretty much game right there. So, yep.
Yay! It took an extra turn. I thought that one turn that you bought yourself what you did booster was gonna get you there. You go boosters. That cold one. That cold one was nice. I had that twin like the whole time, and I just had to do it. there was no point where we would like get value. Just because like I had to commit resources to the graveyard very early.
So what was the Bardiche play? What were you going for?
Setting shape indeed. What I should have done was actually use the Daruma Doll to pop, because I forgot that I hadn't used it yet.
Yeah, I was saving it to hold the monster, but when you made the Brigandine guy, or the
Bardiche.
Rusty, I was like, kind of scared.
I could have gone for like a redoer play, and then I could like have redoer with the Tornado Dragon, while popping the Bardiche effect.
Sick nasty.
Like I was trying to like clear as much of the board as possible. Like the priority was obviously on multi-roll.
Alright, so here we are, game 3. I am anticipating that he was making me start, and he does. Now the interesting thing here is I actually kept out the rank up magic. I sided it out still. Just because, like I said, like as a thought, it just really is not very good. Like it doesn't do enough to where they're actually just, you know, folding. You want more impactful cards. But yeah, here I go for obviously the tanky into the Collider chick. I check for Joel here because I don't think I actually need to do any more searching. He doesn't have it, so go ahead and dump the Martin as per usual. Nothing too particularly fancy. Here I'm just trying to set up like the normal play. I kind of want to route it a little bit differently though, because again, Azathoth just isn't that good. And plus I don't have access to it since I sided it out anyway. So right now I am just going to go ahead and go for the Force Tricks play. I think I might actually do a bit of... Oh, no, you're about to see what happens, right? Now I remember what this is, watching it back here. So yeah, go ahead and search for the Zephyr. So I actually did like do another search after the tanky result, but this actually wasn't too necessary as you're about to see. But yeah, after this I go ahead and go for the Mothman since I have Serenade Dance in hand. But yeah, I'm just gonna let you watch the rest of this game a bit here.
Super bad.
That's a big deal! Holy fuck!
Alright, the card we got out of it might make up.
That is a big fucking deal!
That's pretty bad.
Holy shit, that's a game changer!
That's pretty bad.
That is a big
These are my other cards!
That is a big fucking game changer.
I had to go for it though, I had no other play. This is recover. Curious just makes this not as terrible as they would have otherwise been. Curious effects.
Oh my god.
That's big that that resolves.
What the fuck?
That is big.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm still siding it. Specifically for this matchup.
What the fuck?
I like to mill 3 cards.
What the fuck?
This doesn't get value. So we didn't use Mountain. We didn't use this. We didn't use this Everson. And we didn't use this. So, I would like to banish Perfume and pitch for cost. You draw Twin Twister. Better hope Twin Twister.
So yeah, that was a pretty insane series of events that just went down there. So obviously my Call by the Grave gets hit by the Mothman. Huge deal because of the Reaper, but I was able to play through it because Mothman is an insect obviously, so type diversity for Curious is OP, and this is why you should definitely play Curious. And sending Order against Sky Striker, that's pretty much the internal reaction that most Striker players that bar the ones that don't have an answer to it, like Twin Twister or something, those be like, crap. Like, that's really bad. So yeah, here I'm basically just trying to figure out the best board I can make at this point without the added pluses from Rusty Bardache, which is totally fine because I ended up milling the Silent Boots anyway, get a free search. But yeah, my objective here is basically at this point to try and make Underclock where Curious points to, and then make a Griffin with a Curious and another monster to the zone that Underclock points to. So that way Griffin's in the main zone, and then if I can make like another rank 4 or something above it, then I'm just in business. So yeah, that's kind of just my go-to, like my objective. So yeah, go ahead, I Martin Bounce the Tiger, of course, and then Tiger brings back more stuff, and I don't think I used Zephyros at this point either. So we got a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's like I said in that clip, I didn't even use Zephyros, so we got a lot of stuff going down here. So there's at least 2 monsters for the Underclock and 2 more monsters coming out for the what's it called? The Zephyros. And I actually think I get another search here as well later, or I just straight up get a another Tiger that I have in my hand. I can't remember, but I am somehow able to amass the board I was just describing. So yeah, go for the Underclock here. If I can basically, if it doesn't have an answer to the Imperial Order, then it's kind of just good games. Like you're about to see, I believe he has Engage, Anchor, and then a bunch of other stuff, and you'll see the draw that he has per turn, which is pretty funny. But yeah, so basically I go ahead and pitch a Shade Brigandine. It was conflicting with the order that was in my graveyard anyway, and I had a Twin Twister in hand. I just kind of wanted to save it in case like some random floodgate that some people say like there can be only one, so it's always good to like keep Twin Twister even if you have order set, just in case. Obviously like you can activate it under order, but if you are going for the rank 4 that I'm going for, which is Tornado Dragon, then that's pretty good. Pretty good stuff. So yeah, I'm able to achieve the board that I was describing just now, and this game's pretty much wrapped up. So even though he has like Anchor and stuff, he can't take anything, so he can't like try and break the board with the Anchor because he won't have spells engraved, of course. So yep, this is it.
I was waiting on setting the twin. I was like, if you twin my twin, then I don't have anything for next turn. So.
Sick, nasty.
Sick Reaper!
Reaper useless.
See, against most builds that are only running like Azathoth as like their first turn play, if you make them go first, they're done for.
What's the different side twin? I think it's worth it. I think.
You don't struggle with Azathoth, so.
Yeah, I don't know. But is that a combo people usually do?
I don't think so. I think in Danger Thunder it's possible, but I don't know.
Danger Thunder.
I don't know if people are playing it actually. Though. People are probably playing like Eradicator or Summon Light.
Okay. So scary.
That's just nasty. Yeah, so like my other thing was I took out, I actually kept out the rank up magic. And I kept these out. And what I did was I put in the order and then I put these in. Like the theory is like, since you can break the board, if I were to make Azathoth, there's no point in going for it, so I might as well just try and stop your turn. Or an easier time breaking your next board. Like these kind of do the same thing. Like, I'm not sure what's better actually.
Like, materials just don't stop coming. I'm looking at like, when does it end?
It doesn't end. So effectively it was for this game. I feel like pretty good about this deck.
So yeah, just some overall closing thoughts about the Sky Striker matchup, just as like a reflective sort of thing. Like, a lot of people say that, oh, it's pretty easy, you know, they can't out Leo Dancer, just go second. If you're against a smart player, it can actually be a hard matchup, because they just need to prioritize the correct striker cards. And at that point, if you're letting them go first, like, you still run the risk of them being able to set up like a board full of defensive cards. And if they have hand traps, then it's a lot harder to deal with than simply just kaijuing their striker link and then, you know, just playing ignorantly. You know, you have to think, especially like if you don't have a kaiju, then you are susceptible to their like eagle boosters and shark cannons, and things that can actually hinder you from straight up OTKing if you like try and play too aggressively. So you really do need to hold your resources sometimes in this matchup. Just know what to hit when. Definitely like take advantage of all the removal tools that you have, but like, you know, it's very important to know like when you're burning through them too quickly, or like when you need to appropriately use them and make like a big push. As you saw, like in game 2 especially, there, like I didn't really win off the first turn, you know, after he set up, because there wasn't a chance for me to do that. Like, I had to recognize that he probably isn't dying this turn, so I have to win by generating card economy and playing for next turn and like having enough responses afterwards. So yeah, it's things like that they just kind of have to keep in mind. And like side decking for this format is still kind of like up in the air. And this build, sometimes like I still like waver on it a bit if I want to like try and make, you know, more things maybe geared towards going second a little bit, but I think I'm pretty satisfied with the build. Like I said at the ending there, like this build is serving me pretty well so far, and I think that like for this format, which is still might I add pretty undefined overall, like we know like what a lot of the best decks are, but like there's still a lot of room for development within the format. So yeah, obviously this is like super cool to like kind of just see the insight into like this particular matchup, but things change all the time, you know, just keep that in mind. It's like very hard to like quote unquote future proof these sorts of videos, because even within any given format, things change on the daily, on the weekly, so gotta keep fresh on your toes and just make sure that you're always prepared for the matchups, the metagame, etc. But if you did enjoy this video and found it helpful or informative, please do consider leaving a like. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I will catch you in the next one. See you guys.